Hey guys, Ollie here again. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I'm gonna give you the sauce. I'm giving you the sauce for GHL. Now, I know a lot of people are moving on to doing stuff with MCP, and MCP is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just, there's a lot of things with that. So this is kind of the old way at this point, but it's still the tried and true way. And it's gonna allow you to learn how to do this without using MCP. It's gonna give you a linear workflow that will allow you to schedule appointments right into your GHL calendar. You can schedule, cancel, reschedule. Once you learn the system that I'm about to teach you today, you're going to know how to take all that information and create your own workflows for any of that stuff. So I'm super excited to jump in here. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Paulie. I run Automate AI, where we build the world's most advanced voice AI receptionists, and we build those for anywhere from small HVAC companies all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. So you want to take this tutorial, run with it, build your own, awesome, go for it. I totally understand and wish you the best. And then if it's too much, you got so much other stuff going on, you want me to come in and build this for you, please go ahead, jump down below, schedule a meeting with me, and I can talk about details and what you want to get set up. And if you're just out there and you're looking for something to sell, you really love voice AI, and you want to work with me to just go out there and sell and make commissions and recurring commissions for anything you sell, jump on in there, schedule a meeting, and let's talk about that as well. I'm going to do a quick demo right now on what the voice AI sounds like. You might have heard it in my previous video there. And then we're going to up into the demo on how to set up your scheduling for this. So I'm going to get this call going. Over a second. Hello?
Hey, Polly. This is Haley calling from Sun Solar Company. You had previously expressed interest in solar with 0% financing for 1 to 5 years, and I wanted to see if you'd like to schedule a free in-person estimate to go over your options. Would you like to set that up?
Yeah, I'd love to set that up. Thanks.
That's great to hear. Let's get you scheduled. May I have your first and last name and the best phone number for the appointment?
Yeah, definitely. First name is Scott. That's Scott. Last name is Samson, Samson. And my phone number is 518-214-4444.
Thank you, Scott. What day and time works best for your free in-person estimate? We're available Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yes, let's see. How about, do you have something Monday at 11 a.m.?
Let me check that for you. Yes. We can schedule you for Monday at 11 a.m. Would you like to provide an email address for the confirmation, or should I proceed without it?
Yeah, that's okay. Let's proceed without it.
Great. You're all set for Monday, August 11th at 11 a.m. Our solar expert will come to your home to go over everything. If you need to make any changes, just let us know. Looking forward to seeing you then.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye.
You're welcome, Scott. Have a great day. Goodbye.
And that's it. That is the database reactivation campaign agent right there. This can be used for for reactivating old leads. It can be activated using new leads that are coming in. So you got a lead form coming in that I'll send out that call automatically. And then I'll go ahead and we'll show you here how it got scheduled as well. And 1 minute. Let me just show you real quick, guys. This is the calendar here, and this is next Monday, 11 a.m. That's what I asked for. And we can see the name, Scott Sampson, that I gave. And then I have 1-8-214-4444. That was the phone number I gave. I said, don't worry about the email. And then I am the owner of this appointment. And that is the scheduling right there. As you can see, the agent did it for me. And I'll jump into the tutorial here so you guys can figure out how to do it for yourselves and set it up for yourselves as well. Okay. All right, guys, I'm jumping right in here. So I just got a blank N8N workflow here. And what we want to start off with is a webhook. So I always like to enter my workflow names up here. So we're just going to call this DRC for database reactivation campaign. Call this the YouTube, and this is going to be scheduling. Okay. So we will keep that. And the first step here you want to jump in is add a webhook. And the webhook is here. And this is going to be a post request, and we're going to respond when the last node finishes here. Let me see here. So I want to make sure we got, sorry, not when the last node finishes. We want to use the respond to webhook node. So that is actually going to respond to your Vapi assistant, so it knows that either the appointment was scheduled or it wasn't scheduled. Okay, so as you've probably seen before if you've been here, but if you haven't, this is how the webhook works. This is your test URL, and then you have your production URL. Test URL, if you're using a test URL, you have to listen for a test event. If you're in production and you've come out here and you've activated your workflow here, then that will work anytime that webhook is sent, right? Okay, so first off, we've got our webhook set up there. And then next up, we are going to set some values here. So I like to use the edit field set node here. Okay, and what we are going to do is add a field. We're going to call this first one our location ID, and then we are going to add a second field here, which is going to be our bearer token. We'll just call this authorization, and authorization, location, and then we will want to have the calendar ID as well. Okay, calendar. All right. And so where are we going to get all these things? Well, you got to have to jump into your GoHighLevel account. And just 1 second. So we're going to go into our GoHighLevel account here. And when you get in here, where you want to go is your settings at the bottom here on the left. And we are going to go to private integrations right here. And so with the private integrations here, you're going to want to create a new integration for this. So that's going to give you what's called your bearer token. And you have to have your bearer token in order to access the account. So your bearer token is a very private key, and you don't want to be sharing this. So obviously we're just doing this for YouTube. So this is going to be YouTube test, and I am going to rotate this key, or actually delete it once I'm done. I'll call it booking appointments. Booking appointments for Vapi. And then so this is where you get to set all your scopes, okay? And what are scopes? Scopes are basically all the things that this key will allow you to do within your account. So you can set as little or as many as you want for this. And it's up to you how you want to do this. You know, you don't want to keep creating keys all the time. So sometimes it might be good just to go through and allow it to pretty much, click everything. But in this case, we're just going to edit calendars. We're going to do view calendar events, edit calendar events. We want it to be able to view our contacts, edit contacts, which is going to be able to search for the contacts and add new contacts if we have them. And then we want, of course, forms. See, and as I was saying before, this is all basically you can do any of this stuff with your Vapi agent once you kind of start to figure out and understand how the API works and how it makes calls. You can basically collect the information that's needed and do all this stuff. If you want it to create an invoice for you, if you want it to send out to social media, build a funnel, you could. Not that you probably want to have your Vapi agent doing that, but that is some, basically could do any of this stuff just using the API. And then see that you get to some stuff like this where it's like edit users, that could get a little more dangerous. So that's why they have that warning there, to open that up to kind of edit your API could, allow somebody to possibly edit users if they got your key and were able to get into it. So that's basically it right there. I just want to go over that real quick. So we're just going to create this key for this. And we got the basic, we're just going pretty basic on the scopes that we're using. And so we'll create that. Once you've created it, it's going to pop up like this. And you need to take that key, copy that key. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our N8N flow here. And this is going to be our authorization. Okay. And we will paste that right in there. And then I need to come back here and we are going to get our location ID, which is going to be in our business profile, I believe. Yes, it is. It's right up here at the top. So we're going to take that and we are going to use that again here for our location ID and then our calendar ID. And our calendar ID will be under calendars. Let's see. I haven't built any calendars yet, so we're going to create a calendar and we'll do a round robin one. And we will just call this CRC YouTube calendar. And we can add team members, which I don't have any team members in this sub account. That's okay. This is where you want to set your URL, and we'll just call it DRC YouTube. And our meeting durations, basically just pretty basic, like this. This will set the timing of for your agent to be able to book. So, you won't be able to accept any calendar events that are outside of this booking. So it'll end up erroring in your API call. Okay. So got that. We'll confirm that. I don't have a team member set up, so I'm going to have to add a team member in here. And let's add a user. And we are going to call this Poly Tester. Okay, so I got myself set up in here now. We go back to our calendar. All right, we're going to do a new calendar, round robin. And we could go through all this, but since it automatically created my calendar for me, I entered me as a user. We can copy this ID right here, okay? So I got that copied. We are going to put that into our calendar ID spot right here, okay? And boom, we are set on that, all right? So we will come out here. And now we are set to actually start accessing our account. And let me move myself back down here. So we're ready to start accessing our account, and we will be able to use that information later on in our workflow. And this is the best way to do it right here, guys. You could enter it manually in each of your HTTP request nodes that we're going to be setting up here soon. But truthfully, this way is easier because then you can dynamically insert it into anything. And as you build these out more and more, and you get more and more HTTP requests for different things, much easier just to pull it from the dynamic input there. Okay, so next up, what are we going to build next? We need to build so first off, when I am booking an appointment, first I like to search for the customer in the database already. So we want to search first for the customer. The customer is there, then it's gonna update the customer based on their information. If the customer's not in the database already, then we're actually going to create the customer. Okay, so how do we go about getting this information that we need to search customers? So yeah, I want to look for the GoHighLevel integrations API here. You can search that up on Google and it'll pull it up for you. And this will lead to your documents here. And this is basically how you're going to make all your API calls for all these different things that you want to do within your account. Okay. And if you click on each of these calendars, you get free slots, update calendar, get calendar, delete calendar, get calendars, create a calendar appointment notes, calendar events. That's really what we said, maybe get the free slots. And then so we want to, today we're going to create an appointment, and then you guys can, try to figure out how to do updating an appointment or canceling appointments, which is basically going to be the same thing once you kind of get this. So let's go down here. Right now, we want to actually search contacts, right? So we want to get contacts. No, we want to, let's see here, forget. We want to search the contacts, that's what I thought. So we're going to search the contacts, okay? So we click onto search contacts in our documents here. All right, so we're got our search contacts here. And as you can see here, we got some different information that is needed. This is where we're going to post to. We're going to send a post request, and that's going to search for our contacts in this post request. We've got a couple things that are required here. We have to have our authorization key that we had before. That's our bearer token, and we need this version. And then there's a few ways that you can search for contacts, but you have to add one of these plus your location ID. So these are all the different ways that you can search for contacts in the GoHighLevel database. And personally, I like to use either first name lowercase, last name lowercase, a combination of both the email or a phone number. And truthfully, a phone number is probably the easiest way in the long run to get the proper phone number from the caller and then being able to send that over and search for it using that phone number. So we will use phone number for our search today. All right. And next up, to make this easier and to set up your HTTP, you want to get this CURL over here. And how do you get that? You're going to copy it right there. Okay. We're going to come back into our N8N flow now that we have that copied. We are going to search for a HTTP request. And this HTTP request is basically one that you build yourself. And so like I showed you, we just got the curl. We're going to hit that import CURL there. and we are going to paste that. And we will import it. And there we are. See, we're imported. So like I said, we have that post request that we need to make. And then this is a URL that it needs to hit. And then it sets up the other header parameters for you already, so you don't have to do that. Okay. And then authorization is going to be our bearer. And then it's going to be space. And it's going to be the actual token that we got before, which we will grab in a second because we're going to have to actually on that node before it will come through and we can input it there. And then the body parameters. And so these are going to be the parameters that we need to add into our JSON request in order for it to be able to search properly. Okay, so the first one that we need again, and I believe, yes, you're going to have this. And so the easiest way to get this in is to actually just copy and paste it right here, so you don't mess up the capitalization and the grammar of it, because it needs to be perfect or it's not going to work properly. So I'm going to do our location ID. I don't know why my computer is going so wacky. Too much going on. So anyways, we're going to put our location ID in there, and then we're going to add phone. And I believe phone is just all in lowercase letters, or it's not phone label. It would be phone right there. Pull that up so everyone can see it. And so yeah, we're just going to use phone. And it's got to be in this format in order for it to send it properly. Okay, so it is phone, all lowercase, and you have to spell it right. All right, and that will be what we add in there. All right, so that's the basic HTTP request that we are going to send to search for that contact in the GoHighLevel database. All right, so next up, we have to set up let's save this real quick so we don't lose it. And we are going to set up our webhook here to capture a call from Vapi. And we'll use that information to start searching for a contact and adding a contact in GoHighLevel, and then we will get to booking the appointment after that. All right, so let's go to our Vapi dashboard here. We are going to create a new assistant here. This is going to be for our testing, so we're going to call this Database Suite Activation Campaign YouTube. Okay, we'll create our assistant there. All right, and so in this case, I'm just going to keep this pretty basic for right now, and we'll show you here the tool. We're going to have to go in and build a tool over here on the side, and that's going to be the information that gets sent over to that webhook. Okay, so let's set up a basic. 1 second here, actually. All right, guys. So yeah, we got a pretty basic prompt here going. All right, this is going to just be real short and simple on the prompt. I'm not going to get into a crazy prompt for this, but basically, it's just hello, how can I help you today? And you're a helpful assistant responsible for booking, canceling, and modifying appointments. Every appointment request, always collect the caller's name, email, phone number, and the desired date and time. Ensure the time is converted to ISO 8601 format. And then booking appointments, we're going to use the book calendar 3. That's another thing. We're going to actually build a new tool here. So since we got just a really basic prompt here, and then it's canceling appointment, modifying, and changing, and then the additional context. So the assistant knows when it's able to book for and the current time. So it knows the current time, and it's able to say, like, if someone calls and says, I want to book tomorrow at 2, it knows that it's today at whatever time, 2:30 or whatever, and then it can actually book it, know what tomorrow at 2 is. Okay, so you want to add in your current time like that. And if you can't find the current time, you can just ask ChatGPT, or of course I'll be giving out this free prompt here, so you can always just grab it from there as well. Let's publish this before we forget to publish. Is basically saying your assistant. Okay, so let's move on here. So we're going to create a tool. Okay, we're in the tools here. We're creating a tool that is going to be a custom tool here. And I'm going to do another video here, guys, in a little bit about using the tools. They actually have their own GoHighLevel integration, which actually works pretty decently, and you can use that if you don't want to go this route. This way, though, if you go the way that I'm showing you, you have a lot more flexibility in the long run of using all the different things that all the different scopes, basically, that we were talking about. And so this has somewhat of a limited availability. It's only got the create event, check availability, and contact create. Anyways, let's move on, though. I don't want to get caught up in stuff. You can use that if you want. And if you do that, you're going to have to actually go into your settings and connect your GoHighLevel account. In this case, we're just going to build the custom tool, and we are going to call this going to be called GHL book YouTube. Okay. And so what does this We'll do books appointments in the Go High Level calendar. I can't spell very well, obviously. Sorry, guys. So that's your basic tool name, your description. This is we're going to leave async off. It's going to, yes, we do want to enforce strict parameter validation. And what are parameters going to be? Well, first off, we want to have the name. So first name. And we're going to call this the first name of the caller. Is it required? Yes, it is required. And we are going to apply that. We are going to add another property. We are going to call this last name. And it's going to be the last name of the caller. And it is also required. And then the phone number. And that is what we really want to have basically in order to search that contact or create a new contact. And we should probably have the email address, so we'll add that in as well. The phone number of the caller. And we are requiring that. And an email address. And so you can't have any spaces like this or it won't allow you to. Like if you put email space address, you can't be like that. It's just how the webhooks work and how coding stuff works. So you'll see that in a second, but here we'll just put the email address of the caller. Okay. And we can leave that not required, and we'll try to apply this, but it won't allow me to because there's a space and you're not allowed spaces. So just so you can see that. And so this will collect the email address if it can, and if not, there's no email address. We don't actually need it, but it's good to have. And then, you can add in all the other properties too that you want to have, especially if you're having like an appointment for a service company where you need the address of the service or something of that nature. But for right now, we're going to keep this a little more on the simple side. So we need to come back here to our N8N workflow. We got to grab that webhook address, right? We're going to take the production one because I don't like to mess around with the test one and have to set that every time. All right. And since we're using the production one, we got to activate this workflow. Okay. And that way it'll work automatically once we make this call. So we're going to come back here. We're going to put that URL into our server URL here, and we will save this. Okay. And boom, there we go. We have set up our tool. So we can go in and search these contacts and set the appointment. So let's go back to our assistant. And we are back on our assistant here. And this is going to, so we want to go to our tools. We want to look for our tools here, and that will be our tool right there, the GHL book YouTube. And so we got that in there. And we once again want to publish this. I just realized I'm using my camera off my phone and I won't be able to show you the actual phone call. So I'm going to run this over a web call so I can get the information over the webhook and we can show you that part. I don't know if you'll hear the actual assistant talking, but I'm going to go ahead and connect here. And yeah, I needed to book an appointment. Can I book an appointment? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Can I get, my name is Paulie, Paulie, and my last name is Test, Test. And my phone number is 510-422-1454. My email address is paulie@test.com. That's Paulie at test.com. And I'd like the appointment for this coming Tuesday at 11 a.m. Hopefully we got the execution over here. So we're going to come over here and we should look for our execution. Perfect. And we got a couple executions here. I think it tried twice, but we will look to see that we got the information in here. And, this is an awesome debugging opportunity because we do not have a respond to webhook node found in the workflow. So it will not allow us to get that webhook, which kind of is a pain in the butt. I just want to make sure it didn't come through here. Yeah, it didn't. So let's debug. Let's go to our editor here. And Now, this is one of those things when you're building out these flows, you gotta to work through some of these bugs, and they want things done in a certain event. That was not what I wanted. I want to respond to a webhook right there. And so now we should be able to get this information over, hopefully. Let's save this. And we will try booking one more time here. Yeah, hi, can I have an appointment? My name's Paulie, Paulie, tester. And my email is Paulie, Paulie, at test.com. And I would like an appointment for Tuesday at 11 a.m. And my phone number is 510-488-1245. Okay, so again, hopefully this came through this time. Did we save? We did save our workflow. So let's come over here and look at our executions again. And this time, hopefully we pulled in the web information. We did. Good. Okay. And so if you come in here and you look at your schema, all right, we are going to pull the headers up and we will see. Look at, they spelled my name wrong. Perfect. But whatever. It doesn't matter. This is just for a test. And that is one of the things that you would want to work with on your Vapi assistant to make sure that it's spelling the name right and got the correct spelling and got the correct number. But this should give us enough to move forward with setting up the workflow to search the contacts and then create the appointment. Okay, so we got that. So let's debug this in the editor. Let's pull in these fields now that we need. So like I told you before, we got to add in this bearer token right here. That's our authorization, right? And we have to change this to an expression. And then we are going to pull in that authorization right here. And it's bearer space and then your authorization token, just like that. We got the correct version there. We need our location ID for right in here. And we will add that into there. And then we want the phone number for searching the contacts with, and that is in the webhook. Again, that is under here. Let's move the headers out of the way, and there is our phone number. And so in this case, as I said before, it's got to be with a +1, and the way this sent it over is just with the area code and the 7 digits. So we'll add the +1, and then we'll pull in our phone number like that, and that will give us the +1 number. And hopefully, if we do everything right, then this will come back as no contact. And yet the location ID cannot be undefined, which I didn't. Location. So we want to send the query parameters, which would be the location ID here. Actually, I think we want to actually get rid of this one. Hello. That's not what I meant to do. Bring me back here. Let us go up here. So we're actually adding our location ID, and the location ID again was. And then we can trash this other one. And let's try executing again. Hopefully this worked. Location ID still cannot be undefined. Maybe I need them in both spots. So let's add that back in here again. Try location ID again. We are going to pull it down in there and see if this works. And I'm still not getting the location ID right. So, the other option here is to send over the JSON body. And actually, give me a second. So yeah, I kind of forgot how I'd done this before, but I do not want that like that. We actually want to send a JSON body. So we're not going to use these fields. Even though there is a way to do it like this, I believe we're going to actually just use a JSON here. Because I have this already set up, and I will include this, of course, in the resources for you. So click those resources to get that. But this is your JSON body. And what it is, it's got the location ID set up here, and we need to change that to right here, right? Okay. We need to put in the phone number that we wanted right here. And that will be this, like that. All right. So now this is going to send over the JSON body that's needed in order to make the request. So let's try this, and hopefully we got it right, and we did. So this is what you want to see, something like this. And this is basically saying that there is no contact under that phone number, right? So that's exactly what we wanted. And we are going to go back. And in this case, we are going to add a switch. And the switch is going to be if the contact exists. So this total is there's many ways you could do this, I guess. I'm just going to go is less than 1. And then we'll add another routing rule. And if this total is greater than 1, and this might need to be changed, but we'll it's a number and greater than 0. Okay. So we'll execute that step. And obviously we're getting this one because it is 0. So it's less than 1 and it'll be coming out of there. So in that case, when we do go that route, we are going to need to add another request here, HTTP request, that is going to create the contact in this case, right? So we got to go back to our documents here, and we want to go up and look for create a contact. And that would be right here under the contacts. So we're going to go to the create contact tab. All right, so we're in the create contact tab, and same thing here. We're going to take this shell rather, and we are going to copy that, and we will come in here, and we will get another HTTP request going, and we're going to import that CRL here, and boom, we got that. And so this will be our same things as before. We want to add our bearer token here. And we'll grab that from our edit fields. And we need to change to expression first. Come over here, add that in. And then we have our JSON body already in here. And this is basically all the things that you could add for a contact. Right? You could basically put in all these different things: gender, city, address, postal code. They have a website. These are basically all the custom field or all the fields and custom fields that you have set up for your contacts. Okay. But we are going to keep this to first name, last name. We don't even want the name. We just want the first name, last name. So we can get rid of that. We'll get rid of, we do need the location ID. We'll put in the email. We don't care about gender. Oops. We want to make sure you have your comma there. We're going to get rid of address, all this other stuff. Basically, we do not want any of that other stuff. So that'll be backspace there and backspace there and backspace there. And I think that should be right. And so we will put in our first name here, which will be our webhook back here. Move me out of the way. And so we have first name. Boom. We are going to go to an expression and put first name in there. We're going to go put our last name in here. We will put the email in here. We'll put our location ID here in our edit fields. And then our phone number was that. So we're going to go to plus. Okay. And so this should create that contact, and we will see if it does. So let's execute the step. And boom, we did it. We made contact. So that's the first step there. Okay, next up, now that we've got the contact, we forgot to, I just realized when I built that tool that we forgot to put in the date and time that we wanted for the appointment. So we're going to have to run another test anyways, but we can move on for a second here. But yeah, so you're going to want, so those are the arguments of the tool, right, that we built. And those were all the fields that we required it to send over in order to do this. And we forgot to add in a field for the date and time of the appointment that, the person wanted. So you have to add that in order to get it sent over, in order to have it in your arguments to use it to book the appointment. So anyways, at least we were able to create a contact to start here. And so now that we've created a contact, we can go in and we can add in another HTTP request here. And that will be for booking the appointment. And, it's good to also name each of these nodes so you can remember, like, as you're going and these things kind of start to get big, workflows start to get big, you can look at your nodes and say, oh, okay, that's my booking appointment node, right? And so how are we going to book an appointment? Well, we got to go back to our documents again, and we want to look at calendars, and we want to create an appointment. Okay, guys, so yeah, we got it here. They create an appointment, and again, we'll come and copy this URL here, come back to our N8N workflow, and we will import that. All right, and in this one, okay, we are good there. Thought that we might needed to add in our calendar ID right in there, but it does not look like it. So we do have to add in our bearer token, of course. And let's pull me out of the way. And so bearer token was in the edit fields. And we will put this in here once we change it to an expression. Okay. We got our JSON. So that's what's interesting about this sometimes is that it brings it over in different ways. Sometimes it brings it over in a JSON, and then sometimes it brings it over and just puts it into these fields like this. So basically, we can dump all these other fields. We don't really need. I think we have to. You can look here again, and when you look on here, it will tell you what you need. You have to have the authorization. You have to have the version. But let's see. And then, you have to add in these other things as well. You got to add in your contact calendar ID, your location ID, your contact ID. Have to have a start time. And do you have to have an end time too? I can't remember now. Let's look. Start time is all you need. You don't have to have an end time. And the reason why you don't have to have an end time is because your slots are already set in your calendar for the duration that they're allowed for. So those are the main fields that we need to save. Make sure that we have calendar, location, contact, and start time. Okay. So we'll come back to our workflow and we will get rid of end time because we don't need it. We do need contact ID. We need location ID. We need calendar ID. We don't need the R rule. We don't need to ignore the slot verification. Don't care about notify and run in this instance. Don't care about date range, address, sign users, doesn't matter. Appointment status, doesn't really matter. Meeting location, no. And the title. And the title is good to have so we can remember what this is for. So yeah, we'll just call it the DRC YouTube test event. Alrighty. And then that should give it to us. So where is our calendar ID? Oh, perfect. Right here. We got to change this up because that is the default value that they bring in for you already. That did not land in there. All right, so that's our calendar ID. We've got their default value for location, but we want to put in our real location, which is right here. Okay, now the contact ID. Wait a second, where is that? Oh, that's right. That's why we had to search the contacts or create the contact so we could get an ID in order to book the appointment, right? So let's switch this to expression and we will go to our last HTTP request and look at, boom, right there is our contact ID, which we can bring in dynamically right there. All right. And then we got our start time here. And since I missed putting that into the tool right now, keep this tutorial going and make it a little quicker. I am just going to make a fake, let's see, it's 7:27. So we'll make this for 7:20, 9:29 at, we were saying 11 a.m. and that's going to be -7, I think, or -6 for mountain time. I think that should be right. Okay, so we're going to try this now and execute this step and see if it books our appointment for us, right? Boom, it did it. Look at set this up. So let's go back into here. Let's go into our GoHighLevel here. First off, we'll go back. We'll look at our contacts. Oh, look at, there's me, the poly test that we put in there, right? All the weird spelling and my phone number. Okay, so I had created the contact like we said to. All right, guys, so I don't know. I guess because I just created the calendar, it wasn't showing up, but I had to figure out what happened there. But anyways, I did find it, and it did create this event that we asked it to create, right? And that's the name of it that we put in there, the meeting title. It's got my name, it's got my phone number, it's got my email, and I'm the owner of that appointment as well. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, we're going to go back to the N8N flow here, and we are going to come out here, and we will respond to the webhook, right? And so it's going to send back a webhook response. Sorry. So it's going to send back a webhook response to your assistant, so your assistant knows that, hey, this appointment was booked. Otherwise, you can actually add in an error response as well. You go to your settings in here, and on error, you're going to continue using an error output, right? All right. And so we'll go back to here. Now, this way, if for some reason the appointment doesn't get booked, then you're going to send a response back to your webhook as well, saying, unfortunately, that time was unavailable. Please try another time, or something like that. So let's, oops, I don't want to do that. I want to copy this. We should respond to webhook. And a second here, because we're going to first set up this webhook response. So first income, we are going to respond with a JSON. Okay. And the JSON has to be set up specifically. So hold on one second. Okay, guys. So I just want to pull the right JSON for us here. And I will include this as well into the resources for you guys. So the tool call ID, this is coming up right? It's going to be an expression. And so this is going to grab the tool call ID, which is your ID of the webhook here. And when you look at this, pull up the headers, the tool call ID is this one right here, this KDEA. And so if you don't have it already, if it doesn't come up automatically from the resources, then you can dynamically insert it right here by pulling it over and inserting it into that tool call ID. And that's how, when it responds to Vapi, it knows that it's sending it back to the same call that it was on, and it's able to, the assistant's able to get that information and relay it to the caller. Okay. And so this is, in this case, the appointment was successfully booked, right? And then we will come back and we will duplicate this, and we are going to create our error response. And the error response is also going to use a tool call ID, same one, but in this case, it's going to say at time that time is unavailable. Please try another time. And we're just going to keep it simple like that for now. In case, and then you can, obviously there's different ways to go about responding depending on what you're doing, but for this case, we're just going to keep it simple. And then, so yeah, there we are. This should be good. Let's save this. And we will test this out one more time and see now that if we actually have the appointment booked, like it should be automatically. Okay. So I'm going to go back to the Vapi dashboard. We are going to talk to our assistant one more time. Yeah, hi, I wanted to book an appointment. Sure. And so I stopped that for a second, guys. I want to go back. I do want to update the tool for you guys so you understand that. We are going to put in the start time. Okay. So the start time of the requested appointment in ISO 8601 format. Okay. We are going to require this so it can book the appointment. And we will save. And we'll come back to our assistant here, and we will try it one more time. Yeah, hi, I needed to book an appointment. My name is Johnny Test, and my phone number is 505-222-1843. And the appointment I'd like to get is for Wednesday at 1 p.m. And my email is john@test.com. Perfect. All right, guys. So this probably actually made the appointment for the same exact time because we actually never put in the dynamic value for the new time. So I'm assuming we got two at the same time. So that's okay. So now we're going to come back in here and we're going to show you how to insert that dynamically now. So we have this execution here. We want to copy this to the editor and we will unpin. And so for booking the appointment here, we want to actually use, instead of this time here, we're going to come back in to our webhook, and we should now have within our arguments the start time, and that is in this format that ISO 8601 format that GHL wants, right? Okay, so we put that in there. Boom. Let's execute it just to see, make sure it's correct, which it wants me to run everything else because it's not pinned. So let's go through. We will pin everything here. See, I don't know if this is going to work now. In this case, we can actually. What was this? Is this our search? Yeah, so this is our search contacts, and then switch to here. Let's pin this. Pinned. And pinned. And see, in this case, now it's actually showing that it found the contact because it's run a second time. And so that's perfect. It'll give us the opportunity here to show you how to set up the other one. So it did bring back the contact in this case, and that's why it doesn't want to go down that other route anymore. So we will set up everything else here. I do not want to, instead of creating a contact, which is this one here, we'll move right to booking the appointment instead. So we'll duplicate this node that we already made. We'll put it there. And in this case, is it going to pull the ID right still? I think it might. No, see, the ID has to be updated here with this. Okay. And then our start time is from that webhook. Okay. And that should be perfect. So in this case, and there we go. That created the appointment. And let's see, we should see that appointment was for, let's refresh here. I think that was for Wednesday. What did I say? Wednesday at 1 p.m. Is that what I asked for? I don't remember anymore. Yeah, it was Wednesday at 1 p.m. Perfect. So Wednesday, 1 p.m. We got Johnny Test, Johnny@test.com, the phone number, everything set up properly there. Okay. And then in this case, so you would just want to do the same thing. You want to just duplicate this here. And then we'll duplicate this here. And that will send back the same webhook response for you once the appointment's booked. If it actually found the caller in the system already, if it found it in the database. And yeah, and then that is pretty much that. So that is how it goes, guys. I'm going to cut this video off here. Basically, it's the same idea for canceling, updating. You're going to have to go in here. You're going to have to follow the same things. update appointment. It's the same deal. Go over here, get your curl, import it, and then make sure that you're following and getting all the required stuff. And in this case, you're going to have to pull that event ID. So first off, you're going to have to search for the event ID, and then you're going to have to pull that event ID in. So you have to first get the appointment before you can update the appointment, because if you get the appointment, then you pull the event ID for it. Okay. So yeah, that's GHL booking in a nutshell using Vapi. And then using the database reactivation campaign, you can actually send out that call like we were showing in the first video. Make the call on the form that's coming in automatically. That's going to get the call the contact automatically. And then once they call it, it will be able to book your appointment for you, or update appointment, or change it, or anything else that you want to do, as long as you set it up like this format. All right. Hopefully you guys were able to stick with me. If you did, thank you. Hopefully I provided a lot of value. I do my best to have a lot of free value here. This stuff has taken me a long time to learn myself, and it's nice to be able to share it with the community and be able to give back a little bit. So if you did like it, got some value out of it, please like and subscribe below. And for hopefully, not hopefully, but I will be having much more content coming out, and try to keep it a lot more consistent. So please subscribe. And then, yeah, if you want to get this set up for yourself, you want me to do it for you, book a link with me in my calendar, and I'm happy to build this out for you, for your clients or for yourself. Okay. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.